Previously I talked about the appearance of an angel that I could not reveal a name. This archangel described himself as the one in charge of the healing of the nations. I talk about the power of his presence. While I was talking to him, a chariot of light and fire came towards us. We boarded and traveled towards a place in the firmament. He gave me a scroll that had Bible verses about divine healing, and he showed me how to use them. He said, "Aston, you must reach a certain level of faith that is based on the Word." He told me the secret of victory depend on your thirst for God, the reading of the Word, holiness and purity of the heart. It was such an experience for me, as we traveled to the unknown regions in space in this chariot of light. In fact, we were not alone in the chariot of fire because it was not empty. There was a suite or delegation of host of heaven inside the chariot traveling with us. The chief angel told me, "I am the leader of a big army in heaven, and this suite are the protective angels of healing, the army of healing. Every time you attend divine healing service, angels of healing are deployed on earth to minister healing in the nations, but each of these angels that you see have a speciality and expertise, meaning there is an angel who is specialist of cancer, another angel is a specialist of HIV/AIDS, another angel is a specialist of diabetes. The Lord has angels specialist to deal with every single sickness on earth." I asked my companion, "How come we struggle to heal some diseases in the church?" He replied to me, "The problem is not God because He is almighty, and you are not the one who heal, it is God who heal, but the issue is you and your heart. Understand that man can be a major obstacle to the manifestation of the power and glorious works of God on earth, for God is infinitely great and able to accomplish what exceed men's imagination, but your incredulity is putting a limit to the length, width and strength of the operation of the gift of divine healing place in you. Divine healing should not be special in the church, for it is one of the promise the Lord gave to His people, but the hard heart of people is the issue." Job 36 verse 26 reads, "Behold, God is great, and we know Him not, neither can the number of His years be searched out." This verse emphasizes God's incomprehensible greatness and infinite nature. It highlights that God's wisdom, power, and existence are beyond human comprehension. I was in the chariot of fiery light among the army of angels that were playing instrument and sang to the Lord as we continued to move in the firmament, and the more we advanced in lightning speed the stronger the heavenly music that abound in our heart, and we felt the perfect presence of the Lord. Praise and celebration was the atmosphere inside the chariot of fire filled with music of heaven. I joined the angels singing with them and joy of heaven overflowed in my soul. The chief angel said, "Music is central in the life of the believer. It is through music that we worship and praise." The protective archangel healer of the nations told me, "Music lead people in praise and worship and prepare the atmosphere for the glory of God that descend among His people. Every time the church want to pray for the sick, you must begin to sing and glorify the Lord with music to prepare the atmosphere. The more the Lord is lifted up among you, the more you will see the manifestation of His glory." Aston, make music your principal ally, and every time you come to God's presence take enough time to sing praise to the Lord. Music will facilitate divine atmosphere. As a result they will be divine works. We continue our journey with songs that brought down God's glory. Some of these songs can be heard in churches in our country. My companion angel said we need God's presence to begin this experience. Whatever you will see will be written in your mind, and our first visit is the kingdom of opposition. We will start the visit there and spend some minute before we continue our journey. This kingdom is not our destination, but we have to pass there. We were moving toward the kingdom of opposition when I began to identify the environment of this realm of Satan in space. When we got there, I saw the gate of this dimension. It was a huge eye, in the form of the so-called Eye of Providence, that we see inside the triangle in the $1 bill. In truth, this so-called all-seeing eye was the main entry of this space kingdom. This eye was blinking constantly. The protective archangel of divine healing began to tell me, "Aston, you see this eye before us. This eye is world control and manipulation. It is the control of world order. This eye is monitoring every man on earth. It is monitoring all the system like education, technology and military." The archangel continued to explain to me the influence and power of this eye over human civilization. he said, "This eye is the mark and symbol of identification of powerful secret societies that ruled the world and control human cultures, education, monetary system and wealth on the land of men." I was curious and wanted to know the depth of this mysteries. I said to the chief angel, "I have been with the Lord and other angels in similar kingdom of Satan, but why is this so different? What is special about this place, and why the entry of this kingdom is an eye?" He said to me, "Aston, the biggest battle that the Christian has in the area of divine healing is the battle of sight. Your eye is not just a body organ that allow you to see, it is also an organ of spiritual communication, transmission and information between the body, soul and spirit, and these three are bound. Whatever your eyes see have a direct impact on the soul and the spirit. What you watch will dominate you and become your affection. It will influence your reasoning and intelligence, for what your eyes see influence your inner man." Brother, when our children sit at home to watch violent cartoon, magic cartoon that promotes superpower, when they watch demons and mermaid and violent images, these things penetrate the soul of the children, it influence the soul of the children and change them. Same thing with adult who sit to watch these secular movies in which there is violence, sex and insult. The more you watch these things, they affect your life more than you can expect. These things influence the nature of men. The archangel told me, when you want divine healing to be part of your life, you must first educate and discipline your eyes. You cannot just watch what everybody watch. Every image has an impact on your inner man. These movies and TV images stifle God operation in the life of the believers. Aston, if you really want to see God intervention and works of power in a continual way, you must begin to walk not by sight but by faith. You must not look at the realities around you. This kingdom of opposition works to present the realities and circumstances of life to the believers, and incredulity begin in the heart of the believer when he function by sight and when he is focused on the reality that surround him. The archangel told me, the devil is not so strong but he is cunning. It's through deception that he conquer and get the victory. He surround the believers with informations, presenting him with a plate of realities of life, because he wants your heart to be attached to the realities you are experiencing, so that God operation will be stopped. When you go to the hospital, the doctor tell you that you are barren and cannot conceive. Sterility is the reality that you are facing, that the devil presents you, and it is when the reality of life is presented to you that the enemy come to pile pressure on your mind, so that your heart will be in conformity with the realities of life and information that surround you. It is when you begin to focus on the reality, circumstance and information before you. It is in this stage that God promise become delayed, for you are now living by sight, not by faith. I was greatly surprised by the words of the archangel. So it's when our heart become aligned with realities of life that God promises get far from us, for we walk by faith, not by sight. Whenever the devil want to delay God promises in your life, he will pull before your eyes circumstances, realities and information that is contrary to God promises. He want you to look at the circumstances around you, and the moment you begin to look at these realities, all these information will penetrate your mind and affect your faith, and you become incredulous and lose your faith. That's how you become far from the Lord. Just by absorbing the realities and information the enemy throw around you. That's how some of you see the fulfillment of little things and don't see great things. The size of your faith determine the capacity of great things that he is able to attract. But the more you read the Bible, the more your faith will mature. You must educate your faith. You must be able to see great possibility. God action is determined by the length, height of your faith. You must keep your eyes from filth. You must learn to use the language of faith. Do not function by sight if you want to function in the gift and ministry of divine healing. Avoid things that will stain your eyes and render you ineligible from God operation. We were still at the gate of the kingdom of adversity. After all these explanation, the archangel said, "We do not have enough time. We must visit this kingdom of adversity and opposition." Together we left the gate and enter inside the blinking eye of providence that it was the gate. And when we enter this dimension, I saw that we were facing a massive world, that had a wild atmosphere. It seemed to be a brutal dimension. This was a dark world completely opposed from the earth. I was curious looking at everything. I felt lost. The archangel told me, You don't need to be curious about everything you see. You will visit specific places that were chosen for you, and these places are related to my mission of divine healing. Because I was created for the healing of the nations, I can only take you to place related to the ministry of divine healing. We were in this mysterious kingdom filled with creatures that I am unable to explain with human language. There were many mysterious places, but what caught my attention is that all these beast and demonic creatures were busy working in hurry. There is no more time left, the archangel told me. This place is the Luciferian general headquarters. It is the general headquarters of Satan. When he was cast out of heaven, he came to build his headquarters here. The purpose of this kingdom is to pile pressure on the earth and its inhabitant, to oppose and fight those who are followers of Christ, and to threaten life on earth. This kingdom has many departments that you will visit, but not with me. I will only take you to places that is related to divine healing, because I am the angel of divine healing, and under my leadership there is a whole army of angels that accompany me to bring assistance to men, through the sovereign will of God. I was curious watching this dimension, and there were many streets and detail that I will not enter, but I felt no difference with the earth, for this experience was particular. After moving in these streets we finally arrive at the tip of a valley. When we stood on this valley, we were able to see in the horizon a massive polyclinic. It was gigantic and massive, something you will never see in the world of men and human history. This gigantic polyclinic was as big as our city, the capital of Congo. The archangel told me, this edifice that you see is called the Clinic of Satan. It is here that demon design sickness that Satan sent to earth. They create sickness, and they also create the antidote or remedy to the sickness created. They propose way to heal sickness that they have created. When we enter inside this clinic, you will see great scientists and respected doctors from all over the world and all nations. They travel to this kingdom to learn about sickness in this ancient clinic of Satan. These doctors and scientists are the ones that create biological sickness to attack humanity. They come to do scientific research in this dimension of those who fell from heaven, where they are taught secret about bacteria, and maleficent skills are given them to enable them to create virus and disease, so that they will launch biological war against humanity. Then we began to move forward in order to enter the clinic of Satan, and when we got close to the gate the angel told me, here you will see sickness that is proposed. There are many levels of sickness. There are spiritual sickness that have physical effect. There are physical or natural sickness that have medicinal remedy. You will see in this kingdom incurable sickness. The last sickness are emotional ones. All these sickness are made here. They want people to think that they are all of natural causes. Some of these sickness are made not to kill human but only in order to traumatize humanity, to inflict suffering upon humanity. Let's get inside so that you will see. When we enter the clinic, there was another gate inside in the form of the Eye of Providence, and finally we enter the clinic. It was like terrestrial hospital with many departments. When I look I saw that the first department was that of the sickness that caused divorce. The archangel told me, let visit the first department where are proposed sickness that lead to divorce. You will see people. These people live on earth but they are here hospitalized in this department being treated for demonic end. When we got to this department, I saw that it was a skyscraper with many halls inside. There were 7 levels with huge halls filled with patients on their bed. Others were in critical condition. All these patients were on earth and what was here were their images. The chief angel said, let's walk and contemplate the sick and I will explain to you what you see. There are people suffering sickness leading to divorce. We saw on the board a list of sickness created in order to bring divorce. The first sick in the list was called opposite desire between the bride and groom. It is the case of 2 married people who always have different aspiration and desire. The man does not like what the woman want, vice versa. The second sickness was the disgust of one's partner. You see a married person that has disgust for his partner and desire for women outside. When this become noticeable to the partner she would become frustrated. The third sickness is abusive words that injure the heart. This creates a spiritual separation. Then selfishness in the couple, lack of transparency between man and woman, each one fighting for his own interest. Another sickness was the spirit of single place inside the body of a married man and married woman. The partners would show lack of interest or attention to one another. They are married but they are single. Another sickness created to cause divorce was lack of sexual skill in the couple. The man become unable to satisfy his wife and this bring about frustration that may lead to divorce. This department work for spiritual divorce and physical divorce. If you are not divorced in the physical, they will make sure that you are divorced in the spiritual. Many sickness were proposed in order to weaken men's sexuality. This was done through ingredient in the food, like cube magic, to create frustration in the couple. Cube magic is diabolical and weaken men's strength. Meat was also proposed to weaken men's ability to satisfy his partner. Inactivity in the couple was also proposed. Another sickness was through the pill that women take, and chemical to weaken women. The angel told me, whatever you are reading on the list we will see it inside, and I will teach you what you will reveal to the people of the world how to heal these sickness that are troubling families, for you are here to see the mercy of God and you are here in order to see that the Lord is above all things, because divine healing is the love of God manifested for humanity.